There is a truth that many people spend years trying to avoid, and yet the moment they accept it, their lives begin to change. The truth is simple. Most people are not thinking about you as much as you think they are. We spend so much of our lives worrying about what others will say. We hesitate before taking a step because we fear judgment. We silence our ideas because we are afraid someone might laugh. We hide our dreams because we think people will not understand them. And while we are busy seeking approval, life keeps moving forward without waiting for us. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you replayed a conversation in your head, worrying about what someone thought of you? How many opportunities have you missed because you were waiting for encouragement from people who never intended to give it? How many dreams have remained dreams because you wanted everyone around you to believe in them before you believed in them yourself? The reality is that people clap when you succeed, but they are rarely there when you struggle. They celebrate the result, but they do not witness the sleepless nights. They admire the confidence, but they do not see the fear you had to overcome. They notice the victory, but they know nothing about the battles that made it possible. And that is why your life cannot depend on validation. If your happiness depends on applause, then criticism will destroy you. If your confidence depends on compliments, then rejection will break you. If your motivation depends on people supporting you, then you will stop the moment they doubt you. You must learn to build a relationship with yourself that is stronger than the opinions around you. There will be days when nobody believes in your vision, days when nobody notices your effort, days when your progress seems invisible. But those are the moments that matter most. Because character is not built when everyone is cheering for you. Character is built when nobody is watching and you keep going anyway. The strongest people are not the ones who receive the most support. The strongest people are the ones who continue moving forward without needing constant reassurance. They understand that their purpose is bigger than people's opinions. They know that approval is temporary, but self-respect lasts forever. You do not need everyone to understand your journey. You do not need everyone to agree with your decisions. You do not need everyone to see your potential. The only person who must believe in your future is the person you see in the mirror every morning. Because when you spend your life trying to impress everyone, you eventually lose yourself. But when you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, something remarkable happens. You stop chasing attention. You stop seeking permission. You stop asking the world whether you are good enough. And for the first time, you start giving your energy to what truly matters. Your growth, your goals, your discipline, and your future. The day you stop waiting for validation is the day you finally become free. At some point in life, every person faces a moment that changes everything. It is not a moment of success. It is not a moment of celebration. It is a moment of realization. A moment when you finally understand that nobody is coming to save you. That realization can feel painful at first, because all of us at some level hope that one day someone will appear with the answers. We wait for the perfect mentor, the perfect opportunity, the perfect friend, the perfect circumstance. We tell ourselves that when things improve, we will start. When someone helps us, we will move forward. When life becomes easier, we will chase our dreams. But life does not work that way. The longer you wait for someone else to change your situation, the longer you remain trapped inside it. The truth is that no one can do your work for you. No one can build your discipline. No one can create your future. People may guide you, support you, and inspire you, but they cannot walk your path. That responsibility belongs to you alone. And that is not bad news. That is the most empowering truth you will ever hear. Because the moment you stop waiting for rescue, you discover your own strength. You realize that you have survived difficult days before. You realize that you have overcome challenges that once seemed impossible. You realize that there is something powerful inside you that has been waiting for permission to rise. Many people spend years blaming circumstances. They blame their background. They blame their failures. They blame the people who hurt them. They blame the opportunities they never received. And while they are busy pointing fingers, life continues moving forward. But the strongest individuals make a different choice. They accept responsibility. Not because everything was their fault, but because responsibility gives them control. When you take ownership of your life, you stop becoming a victim of your circumstances and start becoming the architect of your future. There will be moments when you feel alone, moments when nobody understands what you are carrying, moments when support is nowhere to be found. And during those moments, you will have two choices. You can sit down and wait for someone to rescue you, or you can stand up and become the person you have been waiting for. The people we admire most are not those who had perfect conditions. They are the people who found strength in imperfect situations. They are the people who kept moving when nobody believed in them. They are the people who chose action over excuses and courage over comfort. Success is rarely built in moments of convenience. It is built in moments of decision. The decision to keep going when it would be easier to quit. The decision to work when nobody is watching. The decision to believe in yourself when the world gives you reasons to doubt. And perhaps the greatest transformation in life happens when you stop asking, "Who will help me?" and start asking, "What can I do today?" Because that question changes everything. It shifts your focus from waiting to acting, from hoping to building, from dependence to strength. You begin to understand that your future is not sitting somewhere waiting to be discovered. It is being created by the choices you make every single day. No hero is coming. No miracle is arriving. No perfect moment is on its way. You are the answer you have been waiting for. The day you stop waiting to be saved is the day you become unstoppable. Life has a way of testing every single one of us. It does not ask whether we are ready. It does not check whether we feel strong enough. Sometimes it simply places a challenge in front of us and waits to see who we become because of it. Every person listening to me today carries a story. A story of disappointment, a story of failure, a story of rejection. Maybe someone broke your trust. Maybe a dream you worked for fell apart. Maybe life gave you a burden you never asked for. And if we're honest, some wounds do not disappear overnight. Some scars stay with us for years. But here's what I've learned. Pain is unavoidable. Suffering is part of being human. The question is not whether you will experience pain. The question is what you will do with it. Because pain has two possible destinations. It can become an excuse or it can become fuel. Many people allow their pain to define them. They spend years replaying the same story in their minds. Years explaining why they cannot move forward. Years carrying old disappointments like chains around their ankles. And slowly, without realizing it, they give their past permission to control their future. But there is another path. There is the path of the fighter. The path of the person who looks at every setback and decides, this will not break me, this will build me. That decision changes everything. Because the strongest people are not people who never cried. They are not people who never failed. They are not people who never felt fear. They are people who refuse to let those experiences become their identity. Think about the hardest moments of your life. At the time, they probably felt unbearable. You may have questioned yourself. You may have questioned your future. You may have wondered whether you would ever recover. But somehow, despite all of that, you are still here. You survived. And that survival means something. It means there is more strength inside you than you give yourself credit for. Every challenge you overcome leaves behind a lesson. Every disappointment teaches resilience. Every failure teaches wisdom. Every heartbreak teaches growth. The pain that once felt like a punishment often becomes the very thing that prepares you for your next level. The people who accomplish extraordinary things are rarely the people who had easy lives. More often, they are people who learned how to transform adversity into power. They stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" And they start asking, "What is this teaching me?" That simple shift changes the meaning of every struggle. Instead of becoming trapped by the pain, they begin to grow through it. And let me tell you something important. Healing does not mean pretending that the pain never happened. Strength does not mean denying your emotions. Real strength is acknowledging the hurt while refusing to surrender to it. It is waking up after a difficult season and choosing to move forward anyway. It is carrying scars without allowing those scars to carry you. It is understanding that your story is bigger than your worst day. The world will always give you reasons to quit. There will always be setbacks. There will always be moments when life feels unfair. But every time you choose to rise instead of retreat, you become stronger than the obstacle standing in front of you. One day, the very thing that tried to destroy your confidence will become the reason you inspire others. One day, the pain that made you question yourself will become proof of how far you have come. And one day, you will look back and realize that your greatest struggles, yes, you're not stopping you from becoming stronger. They were teaching you how. Turn your pain into power and let your struggles become the fuel that drives your success. One of the most dangerous habits we develop without even realizing it is the habit of comparison. It begins quietly. We look at someone else's success, someone else's achievements, someone else's life, and suddenly our own journey starts to feel smaller. We start questioning our progress. We start doubting our abilities. We start measuring our worth against people who are walking completely different paths, and that is where many dreams begin to lose their strength. Because the moment you become obsessed with what everyone else is doing, you stop paying attention to what you should be doing. Look around at the world today. Every day we are surrounded by images of success. We see people celebrating victories, reaching milestones, achieving goals. We see the highlights of their lives, but we rarely see the struggles behind them. We see the destination, but not the journey. We see the reward, but not the sacrifice. And because of that, many people begin to believe they are falling behind. They ask themselves questions that slowly destroy their confidence. Why am I not there yet? Why is someone younger succeeding faster? Why does it seem so easy for everyone else? But those questions are built on a false comparison. Because you are comparing your behind-the-scenes reality to someone else's highlight reel. You are comparing your chapter 3 to someone else's chapter 20. And no matter how talented you are, that comparison will always leave you feeling inadequate. The truth is that every person has a different journey, a different timeline, and a different set of challenges. Some people bloom early, others bloom later. Some people find success quickly. Others build it slowly. Neither path is wrong. The mistake is believing that your value is determined by how quickly you arrive. It is not. Your value is determined by your willingness to keep moving forward. There will always be someone ahead of you. There will always be someone with more experience, more resources, more recognition, or more success. But there will also always be someone looking at your journey and wishing they had your courage. That is why comparison is a battle nobody wins. No matter how far you go, there will always be another person to compare yourself to. The finish line keeps moving, and happiness keeps getting delayed. But growth begins the moment you change the question. Instead of asking, am I better than someone else? Ask, am I better than I was yesterday? That is the only comparison that truly matters. Because life is not a competition against the world. It is a commitment to becoming the strongest version of yourself. Every day you learn something new, you are winning. Every day you develop discipline, you are winning. Every day you refuse to quit, you are winning. The progress may be slow. The results may not be visible immediately. But growth is still happening. A seed spends a long time growing beneath the surface before anyone sees a tree. During that time, it is not failing, it is preparing. And perhaps you are in that season right now. Perhaps your growth is happening where nobody can see it. Perhaps your efforts feel unnoticed. Perhaps your results have not arrived yet. But do not mistake invisible progress for lack of progress. Some of the most important transformations happen quietly. Keep working, keep learning, keep improving, keep building. Because when your focus remains on your own growth instead of other people's achievements, something remarkable happens. Your confidence becomes stronger. Your energy becomes clearer. Your purpose becomes sharper. You stop running someone else's race and finally start owning your own journey. And that is the moment your true progress begins. The only person you need to be better than is the person you were yesterday. There is something fascinating about human nature. We love talking about what we are going to do. We love sharing our plans, announcing our goals, and describing the life we want to create. And for a moment, it feels good. It feels productive. It feels like progress. But there is a difference between talking about success and earning it. The world is full of people with great intentions, people with brilliant ideas, people with powerful dreams. Yet very few are willing to embrace the daily discipline required to turn those dreams into reality. Because dreams are exciting, repetitive, dreams are comfortable. Discipline is demanding. Dreams happen in your imagination. Discipline happens in the moments when nobody is watching. And that is where real success is built. The truth is that most victories are created long before anyone notices them. Every achievement that people admire on the outside is usually the result of countless unseen sacrifices, hours of work, days of doubt, months of consistency, years of persistence. But when people finally see the result, they often miss the process. They see the success, but not the struggle. They see the confidence, but not the fear. They see the reward, but not the sacrifice. That is why you must learn to become comfortable working in silence. Not because your goals are secrets, but because your energy is valuable. Every time you constantly seek validation for your plans, you risk replacing action with attention. You risk becoming addicted to talking about success instead of building it. The strongest people understand something powerful. They do not need everyone to know what they are working on. They do not need constant recognition. They do not need applause to stay committed. Their motivation comes from a deeper place, a place called purpose. When your purpose becomes strong enough, you stop needing external approval. You stop looking around for encouragement. You stop waiting for people to understand your vision. Instead, you get to work quietly, consistently, relentlessly. And while others are distracted by opinions, comparisons, and conversations, you are building something real. There will be times when nobody notices your effort. Nobody compliments your progress. Nobody acknowledges the sacrifices you are making. And that is exactly when your discipline is being tested. Because it is easy to stay committed when everyone is cheering for you. It is much harder to stay committed when the room is silent. But those silent seasons are where champions are made. Those are the moments that reveal whether your commitment is genuine or conditional. Can you keep showing up when nobody is watching? Can you keep improving when nobody is praising you? Can you keep believing in your vision when nobody else sees it yet? If the answer is yes, then you are already developing the mindset required for extraordinary success. Remember, success is not built through occasional bursts of motivation. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you will feel inspired. Other days you will not. Discipline is what carries you through both. Discipline shows up when emotions disappear. Discipline works when excuses appear. Discipline continues when progress feels slow. And eventually, something remarkable happens. The work that nobody noticed begins producing results that nobody can ignore. The sacrifices become achievements. The effort becomes excellence. The consistency becomes confidence. And suddenly, people start asking how you did it. What they do not realize is that your success did not happen overnight. It was built during all those quiet days when you chose action over excuses, effort over comfort, and discipline over distraction. Keep building when nobody is watching. Keep working when nobody is applauding. Because one day your results will speak so loudly that your words will no longer need to. As we come to the final part of this journey, I want to talk about something that determines the direction of almost every dream, every goal, and every success story. It is not talent. It is not luck. It is not even intelligence. It is focus. In a world filled with distractions, focus has become a superpower. Every day, something is competing for your attention. Opinions, criticism, social media, fear, doubt, comparisons, noise from people who have never walked your path, but somehow believe they have the right to tell you where it leads. And if you are not careful, you can spend your entire life reacting to distractions instead of pursuing your purpose. The truth is that every great achievement requires concentration. Every meaningful goal requires commitment. Every extraordinary result requires the ability to stay focused long enough to see it through. But most people never reach their potential because they allow too many things to pull them away from what matters. They start with excitement, but abandon their goals when challenges appear. They start with confidence, but lose direction when criticism arrives. They start with purpose, but become distracted by things that have nothing to do with their future. And slowly, without realizing it, they trade long-term success for short-term comfort. That is why you must learn to protect your focus. Protect it from negativity. Protect it from unnecessary opinions. Protect it from people who constantly remind you of your limitations instead of your possibilities. Not everyone deserves access to your dreams. Not everyone deserves influence over your direction. Some people will project their fears onto your future because they never had the courage to chase their own. And if you listen to every voice around you, eventually you will lose the ability to hear your own. The people who accomplish remarkable things understand this. They are not focused because life is easy. They are focused because they know what is at stake. They understand that every distraction steals time, every excuse steals opportunity. Every moment spent doubting yourself is a moment not spent building yourself. And time is one thing you can never get back. Think about how many dreams disappear, not because people lack talent, but because they lose focus. They become interested in too many things and committed to none. They begin chasing every opportunity and end up mastering nothing. They allow temporary obstacles to make permanent decisions. But those who succeed develop a different mindset. They understand that focus is not about saying yes to everything. It is about having the courage to say no to what does not align with their purpose. No to distractions. No to excuses. No to habits that keep them stuck. No to the comfort zone that feels safe but leads nowhere. And perhaps most importantly, they stay committed even when motivation disappears. Because motivation is unreliable. Some mornings you will wake up inspired. Other mornings you will wake up tired. Some days you will feel unstoppable. Other days you will question everything. That is normal. The difference is that focused people keep moving regardless of how they feel. They understand that consistency matters more than emotion. They keep showing up. They keep learning. They keep improving. They keep taking the next step. Not because it is easy, but because they know their future depends on it. And eventually, all those small steps create something powerful. A stronger mindset, a stronger character, a stronger life. The world may try to distract you. People may try to discourage you. Challenges may try to slow us down. But none of them can stop a person who refuses to quit on themselves. Stay focused on your mission. Stay committed to your growth and never allow distractions to become stronger than your purpose. Because the people who change their lives are not always the most talented. They are the ones who never stop moving forward.